welcome once again to Let's Talk Marriage. This is Pastor Larry coming to you this Wednesday afternoon with Let's Talk Marriage. All right, all right. We're going to get right on into our program. I hope everyone is doing well. If you woke up this morning, you are doing well. All right, all right. We're going to get right on into our program. Our program today is going to be rebuking the enemy from your marriage. There's so many marriages that go through so many different things. And we've said on the program many times that the devil or the enemy does not like, or society as a whole does not really care for marriage. Is not a popular thing, even though people might rush into it sometimes. It's still not a very popular thing. And people don't stay in marriages that long, and and sometimes people get married for whatever, for the wrong reason. Sometimes they just do not find their soulmate, and it's a rarity that you do find your soulmate. That's why you have to be patient. That's why you have to wait on your soulmate to find your, because that's why the Bible says he that finds a wife finds a good thing. So you have to wait for your soulmate. And I know a lot of people get impatient. You start to get older and you're still saying, oh, I don't have anyone in my life. There's a reason for everything that goes on in your life. Sometimes it takes a moment for you to get to that level where you can be acceptable to having a spouse, or you are, it's not your time yet to have a spouse. And then again, God could be holding someone special for you, so you don't want to just settle for anyone or anything. So you make sure that you get into these marriages, because marriage is an honorable thing, and you don't want to get in there for a short time. You want to get in there for a lifetime. So those are the things that we have to take in consideration. Our marriages are under assault. We have an enemy, an adversary, whose mission is to steal, kill, and destroy. John 10:10 says that for us. His tactics are deceptive. He lies and is the father of all lies. He stalks us as a lion pursuing his prey. So we have to be very cautious in our marriage and don't let the enemy slip in. Sometimes the enemy will slip in with thoughts in your mind. It'll tell you, oh, she doesn't believe in you. He'll put that thought in your head. She doesn't believe in you. You need to get somebody else, or when you was with somebody. That's why you have to, those previous relationships, you have to make sure you close those chapters, because if you don't, when you get into your next marriage, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be comparing that person that you married to now to someone that you used to know, or someone that you did have a relationship with. So you have to make sure you close those chapters, and you don't want to bring in animosity from another relationship, because it'll build up in your new relationship. And these are other things that the enemy will put in your head. He always takes his child's side, especially with your blended families, Yeah, you're always taking your kid's side, it'll bring that conversation in, or bring that argument in, and cause division within the marriage. So you have to make sure that we stay supportive of each other. And we said that many times on the program. Make sure that we stay supportive of each other. And then here's some other thoughts that the enemy might bring to you. I'm not pretty enough. You might think about the person that he was with before, or you might run across a picture of one of his old girlfriends that you happen to know, and you see, or you might even run into them and see how well they look, and you all of a sudden you don't think you're pretty enough for him, or he doesn't think he's handsome enough, because he might run into one of your old classmates, or someone that you knew. And the enemy puts all kind of things in your head to try to destroy your marriage. And then, if you have a husband that, is trying to provide for his family, he's working hard, he's trying to get, trying to take them to the next, trying to take his family to the next level. He's a, provider. He's trying to take his family to the next level where they want to, maybe purchase a house or make that big purchase or, and the enemy will put in your head, he only cares about his work, things like that, and just have you just thinking if he's gone up for work too long, then you start wondering where he is, and the enemy puts all kind of thoughts in our head, so we have to be very careful, and stay prayed up. And here's another one. I am a lousy husband. Sometimes the enemy will put that in your, I don't think I'm a good husband, and put that doubt in your head. And that's the same thing as when when you are attending church, when you are a Christian, when you're uh, a born again believer. Sometimes the devil will come to you and tell you, "Oh, you're not a good saint. You're not a good believer. Look what you did. Look what you said." He keeps constantly bringing back the past to haunt you. And that's the things that happens in a marriage. That's why you have to make sure that you close those chapters in those previous relationships, because if you don't, it's going to keep coming up. Make sure you close. Don't jump into one out of one relationship into another relationship, because trust me, you are going to run into, is this happen again, is going to go through your mind. Is she like the other one, So you have to make sure that you close those chapters in those before you move to another or a new relationship. We have said it on the program many times. Allow yourself to work on you before you go into another relationship. A lot of times we try to go into another relationship. We haven't resolved our issues that we had when we were in another relationship. No marriage is perfect, and if the marriage happened to end, it's not always all the other person's fault. You had some fault in there as well. So there's some issues that you need to deal with before you move to a new relationship. I know for a fact. So you have to deal with those things. You have to make sure you close those chapters. You can't open a new book if you haven't closed the book that you were in before. You have to close that book before you move to a new uh, chapter in a new book. Here's another one here. She would rather be with her ex spouse. We just was talking about that. She would rather be with her ex spouse. See, the enemy always bring those things in your mind. That's why you have to make sure that we are supportive of each other. See, if you're supporting of each other, you're constantly giving your wife compliments, you adore her, and just let her know that you adore her. Just make her feel special. Just make her feel like she's the only one there, so those thoughts will not come in. So the enemy won't. Don't allow the enemy to open that door in your marriage. Here's another one. I can't overcome my past mistakes. There, we just talked about that. You have to make sure that you close those. If you constantly going back to those old things from the past, make sure that if you need to get some kind of counseling for it, get some counseling for it before you try to move on to a new chapter. Make sure that's all dealt with. You want to make sure that you go into a new relationship open heartedly. Your mind is all there, your body is all there, so there won't be any discussions or arguments over something that went on in the past. So you have to make sure that you forget things. Last week, I believe we talked about forgiveness. Make sure that we are forgiving each other and moving on. Make sure you leave the past in the past. And we said the only thing that you bring up from the past are the things that were positive. If there were good things in your past, you had a good vacation a few years ago. Talk about things like that. Don't talk about the negative things. We like to remember negative things. That's funny about things that are negative. We can remember every detail of something negative. But if it's something positive, we only remember some points. You have to say, "Oh, did that really happen?" Or uh, "Oh, it didn't happen like that," or maybe it did. You can't remember any details of something good that happened, but anything bad, you remember every detail. Just like when you go to store, if you had a bad experience in that store, you'll tell everyone every detail that happened in that store with your bad experience. Sometimes you even add stuff to it to make it sound worse than it is. For instance, if you had to only had to wait 5 minutes, all of a sudden it was 15, 20 minutes. But you remember every detail of that negative thing. But you go in a store where you have a good clerk and she's very hospitable and very kind. Only thing you remember is they had a good price and you got a good deal. You don't really remember all the details of how nice that clerk was and what she had to do to go through it. You don't even remember that her boss had just yelled at her and she came to you. And when she got up to the register, it was like nothing had even happened. You don't remember things like that. That's how our human nature are. Very rarely we will remember things like that. We allow those lies to fester in our mind, and before we know it, we have created a storyline in our heads that is worthy of a fictional novel. That is so true. With all those things and these thoughts that come in your head, you even uh, fantasize or even sit and think about, uh, he's got to be with her, or he's got to be thinking about her, and he don't like my cooking. He don't like the way I look, and I need to lose weight. Things like that. And that's why us as husbands, we have to make sure that we lift our wives up. I heard someone ask, had a conversation with someone. This was a few years ago. They said that the hardest question that a spouse can ask is, "Do I look fat in this dress?" Or "Do I look fat in this outfit?" That person said that that is the hardest question that a spouse can ask. Because I mean, what exactly do you say? See, the thing is, to not get to that point is, if you were all along giving compliments and uplifting her, that question would never come up. But if that question happened to come up, sometimes that's the hardest question to answer. Do you answer honestly, or do you figure out a way to answer honestly without being offensive? So you have to think about that. That's why you have to think before you answer any question that your spouse might ask you, especially when it comes to her appearance. And then those questions would never, or very seldom would come up if us as husbands constantly uplifted our wives. They're not going to look the same as you did when you first met them. Very rarely. There's some people that still look the same, or they never really changed. But for the most part, they're gonna change as well as you. You're gonna change yourself. We all change. We all, our parents change. So you have to make sure that we uplift each other. Constantly compliment your wife. I can't say it enough to us fellas. Make sure that we constantly uplift them, and put them in a place where they don't feel self-conscious, where they even have to ask questions like that. Okay. The good news is that he who is in you, the Spirit of God, is greater than he who is in the world. That's in 1 John 4:4. Yes, the enemy is powerful, and on our own we cannot defeat him, but with him we can resist the enemy and we can have a successful marriage. And we've been talking about that lately on the program, of having a successful marriage, because there's so many marriages that sometimes, again, like we mentioned earlier, sometimes you get married too soon, you get married to the wrong person. But we have to make sure that we find, or we marry our soul mate. Because when you marry a soulmate, even though things might come up, you can go through hardships, you can go through things that most couple cannot handle, and you still standing strong. And then your marriage will continue. Excuse me. Your marriage will continually to be blessed. This is Pastor Larry. I'm going to be signing off today until we meet again. Also, I want to mention to you that we are going to be opening our ministry this Sunday, October the 15th at 11 a.m. We were at New Zion Christian Center, where I'm the senior pastor at New Zion Christian Center. We will be starting our ministry, and we're all about love. So if you feel like you in a church that's in a rut, in a church that's bow brow beating you, or church that's always putting you down, or you're just having a hard time, or you can't get your spouse to go to church, try something new, try something different. Come on over and be with us on Sundays at 11 a.m. And I promise you, you will not regret it. Our address is going to be is 150 14 South Des Plaines Street, Plainfield, Illinois, New Zion Christian Center. Also, for the people that come, the first few people that come, or we don't have limited copies of my book, Mom. I hope you can see this. Mom, the Long Journey Home. I will be giving out autographed copies of this book along with the welcome packet. It'll be in the welcome packet as a thank you to those that come out. So make sure you make your way out on this Sunday, October the 15th at 11 a.m. And again, the address is 150 14 South Des Plaines Street in Plainfield, Illinois. This is Pastor Larry. Until we meet again with Let's Talk Marriage. All right, all right. Hope everyone have a wonderful, wonderful week until we see you on Sunday morning. God bless you.